Welcome to the YouTube channel Math Skill. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter Quadratic Equations. The numerical is solve the equation 2x square minus 5x plus 3 equals 0 by the method of completing the squares. This is part of CBSE as well as NCERT syllabus for 10th standard. I am your trainer Venkatesh K. This is a solved problem from the textbook. Now we will note down the numerical. The given equation is 2x square minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. Now the first term contains a x square term, second term contains a x term, and third term is a constant. Therefore, it looks like the standard form of a quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, coming to what the expectation is, we have to solve this particular quadratic equation by the method of completing the squares. In our earlier videos, we have already seen that the roots can be found out for a quadratic equation by using factorization method. Similar to factorization method, there is one more method called as completing the squares method. So completing the squares method will involve 4 steps, in which the first step is related to the conversion of the first term to a perfect square. The first term in this equation is 2x square term. So this 2x square term, we will have to convert it into a perfect square. So this can be done either by dividing the first term by 2, that is upon division of 2x square by 2 we would be getting x square, or similarly we can multiply the first term by 2, that is 2x square multiplied by 2 would be 4x square. Also 4x square can be rewritten as 2x whole square. So because there is whole square term here, which means it is a perfect square. So this is the first step related to conversion of the first term to a perfect square. The second step is rearrangement of the second term as 2ab term. Also, the third step is to add and subtract b square, and finally the step number 4 is to apply the formula a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square formula. Whether a plus b whole square is to be applied or a minus b whole square depends upon the size of the sign of the middle term. If the middle term contains a plus sign, then a plus b whole square formula will be applied, or if the middle term contains negative sign like the way what we are seeing here, then we would be applying a minus b whole square. Now let us see how to proceed and start the solution. Now the first step of converting the 2x square term as a perfect square, let us divide the first term 2x square by 2 to make it as a perfect square. In order to divide the first term by 2, let us divide both LHS as well as RHS by 2. The LHS would be given equation 2x square minus 5x plus 3 whole divided by 2 is equal to 0 by 2. Now 0 by anything is 0. So as a part of next simplification, RHS would be 0. Also, let us split the LCM for LHS. 2x square by 2 minus 5x by 2 plus 3 by 2 is equal to 0 by 2 is 0. Therefore, here we see that the first term 2x square and 2, out of which 2 would be getting cancelled and we would be left with a term called as x square, which means that the first term is expressed as a perfect square. Therefore, step number 1 is completed. Now, going to the step number 2, that is in this step we have the middle term as minus 5x by 2. We will have to express in the form of 2ab. Now, let us see how to do that. Now we have number 5 in the numerator. Number 5, since it is odd, it cannot be having 2 as a factor. Therefore, since we want to express the middle term in the form of a 2ab, let us multiply and divide by 2. If the term here, the middle term, was even, then it could have been expressed as a multiple of 2. Then it's not required to divide and multiply it by 2. Now we will see that scenario in the next other problems. In this problem, let's divide and multiply it by 2 for the second term. Therefore, upon multiplication and division, we see that the second term would be 2 by 2 multiplied by 5x by 2 plus 3 by 2. The other two terms, x square and 3 by 2, would remain as it is, whereas for the second term, we have multiplied and divided by 2. Now, what has to be done is, we will have to rearrange the terms such that 5x is written as x into 5, wherein this is being done in order to get 2ab term. So here in the numerator I have 2 because x square is now acting as a square. In order to get 2ab, so I require 2 multiplied by x. If you have 2 multiplied by x followed by other terms, then what would be written is, see here in the numerator we have split numerator as 5x as x into 5, that is x into 5 by 2 is what is written. Now we require 2ab, because of which 2 into x would be taken, other terms would all get multiplied and become b. That is what we are seeing here. So 2 as it is, x as it is, other terms 5 in the numerator, in denominator 2 multiplied by 2 would be becoming 5 by 4, plus the third term constant is as it is. Now this completes the step number 2, that is expression in the form of 2ab. Third step is, now we will have to add and subtract b square term, because in place of a b we have 5 by 4. Let's add and subtract 5 by 4 whole square. So here we see that 5 by 4 whole square is getting added and subtracted. Now this completes step number 3. Now in order to apply the formula either a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square, because the middle term is minus 2ab, therefore we know the formula a minus b whole square, which is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square, or the same formula could be rewritten as a square minus 2ab plus b square is equal to a minus b whole square. Now we have in LHS of the formula 3 terms, a square minus 2ab plus b square. So here also we have 3 terms, x square minus 2 into x into 5 by 4 plus 5 by 4 whole square. So these 3 terms would be, for these 3 terms we would be applying a formula, that is these 3 terms would collectively become as x minus 5 by 4 whole square, that is a minus b whole square formula I have applied here, and remaining 2 terms 5 by 4 whole square plus 3 by 2 both would remain as it is. So this would complete step number 4. In order to proceed further and find the value of x, what has to be done is, now we will have to simplify the terms and find the value of x. Now how to do that? Let us see. Now we see the term here minus 5 by 4 whole square. So this looks like a by b whole power m. A by b whole power m is equal to a power m by b power m. That is when there are 2 terms 5 and 4 getting divided to each other, and within bracket also there is a whole square, then we have to distribute the power to both the terms. So in next step it would be 5 square by 4 square, remaining terms would remain as it is. Now 5 square is 25, 4 square is 16. Let's go ahead and substitute these values. Upon substitution, now we see that we are having x minus 5 by 4 whole square minus 25 by 16 plus 3 by 2. Now let us take LCM for 2 and 16 numbers. Upon taking LCM, we see that the LCM is 16, that is lowest common multiple. Now substituting the LCM here and simplifying, it would be minus 25 plus 24, what we see here, is equal to 0. So minus 25 plus 24 by 16 would be minus 1 by 16 is equal to 0. Now to find the value of x, let's transpose this 1 by 16 towards RHS. So minus 1 by 16 would become plus 1 by 16. That is what we see here. Also x minus 5 by 4 whole square is equal to 1 by 16. Now x minus 5 by 4 would be equal to plus or minus square root of 1 by 16. Now how to simplify these numbers and remove out of the square root? Now let us see that. Square root of 1 by 16 can be written as square root of 1 by square root of 16, or square root of 1 square by 4 square. So 1 is written as 1 square, 1 square is also 1, and 16 is written as 4 square, that is 4 into 4 is 16. Now we see that within square root there is a square term for both numerator as well as denominator. Then square and square root would get cancelled. Therefore in RHS we would be having plus or minus 1 by 4. Therefore so upon transpose of this minus 5 by 4 towards RHS, we would get x is equal to 5 by 4 plus or minus 1 by 4. To find the value of x, let us take both the cases separately. Because it's a quadratic equation, it can have maximum two answers. So 5 by 4 plus 1 by 4 and 5 by 4 minus 1 by 4. Let us take 4 as LCM for both the cases, and we see that in numerator it is 5 plus 1 and here it is 5 minus 1. This is 6 by 4 or 4 by 4. Upon simplification, we are getting x to be 3 by 2 or x is equal to 1. That is, these are the required answers. That is, x is equal to 3 by 2 and x is equal to 1. This completes the method of completion of squares. Thank you.